Hey, good morning. Welcome back to my live stream. My name is Jeff Fritz. It's July 5th, 2018, and welcome back. We're going to be doing some live coding today. Today's hat, I'm wearing my really old, really beat up Microsoft hat because I've got something that I'm happy to share with you. I have a new event you're going to see over here in the event box that I'm going to be speaking at here in the fall. I've been asked to speak at Microsoft Ignite in September. There it is, Microsoft Ignite, September 24, 28 in Orlando. Ignite used to be Tech Ed, and it's one of my favorite conferences. Enterprise tech focused, a lot of developers there. Going to talk about a lot of cool things that you can get your hands on and do and be productive right now with ASP.NET Core and ASP.NET. My green screen is picking up the green square in my hat. I know, it's like there's a bullet in my head. Look at that. You won't notice it when we change scenes here. So I was happy to share that I was picked up and I will be speaking at Ignite. So another event in the fall that you'll be able to see me at. I'm really looking forward to it. 30,000 people were at last year's Ignite. I'm sure we'll see just as many this year. Let's get some music playing in the background here. Today I'm gonna go back to Orchid. I really like this. This is one of the new songs from Carl Franklin on his Music to Code By albums. You can get all of his music at mtcb.pwop.com, and of course, you can get the app at musictoflowby.com, and you'll get fresh music each month for your Android or iOS device. Here it comes. I love the bass and the rumble in this song, and I think it might be a little bit low. Here it comes. Scientifically engineered to get you in the flow and get you focused on whatever task it is that you might have. So good morning, Quinn. Great to see you. And Coated Beard, good afternoon. Ozcoder, up late, dialing in from Australia. Fantastic. Thanks for joining us here this morning. And Aspiring DevOps Guru, greetings. Thanks for tuning in. I had a question at the end of the stream on Tuesday that I completely missed that I want to make sure we come back to, and it was asking, what's this .NET Philly thing that we see on the GitHub scoreboard, and we also see in the repository? What's happening there? No, there isn't a Microsoft .NET event coming to Philly, and I'm taking inspiration from Mary Jo Foley and developing a project code name that we can use that is named after a city, because cities can't be copyrighted, and it's a code name, so nobody's going to get upset at us for referencing something that's kind of proof of concept. Science music. I'm going to have to check that out. If you ask a question there in the chat room about it, the bot will tell you exactly where to get it. There you go. So, Carl's been gracious enough to grant us a license to play the music here in the background. I love it, and he really appreciates you checking it out as well. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? All right. So I wanted to answer questions about .NET Philly. So let's go over to our code. I'm going to jump right into code editing here. There we are in my GitHub. Yeah, Quinn, that's a custom thing that I have for my bot so that it knows how to answer questions. So we've been teaching it how to answer questions. We need to do a little bit more work on it, but I think it's doing a pretty good job. It's no GIF bot like our friend Fierce Kittens has. Anyways, yes, green makes Fritz have holes. Absolutely. So I have green poker chips I keep here on my desk. I'm one of these guys. I enjoy playing cards, but I have a bunch of poker chips, and it's literally a hole right through wherever I put that. So, and I've got a green t-shirt that I keep over here that I can hide my chair with by draping that over it. Absolutely. So back here, folks were looking at my looking at my GitHub repository, and there's this .NET Philly project. And what we're doing here with the prototype that I'm kicking around as part of a larger charter that I have with Microsoft is around how do we make samples? How do we make code that you can learn from easier for you to access, easier for you to get on your machine so that you can try them out without having to jump through a bunch of GitHub repositories, half a dozen different websites with clicks and approve this and yes, I'll accept cookies and no tracking and all that nonsense. Yes, I do use the Azure Cognitive Services for that, as Janescu pointed out. Q&A Maker did help, but we've got a little bit of tuning we have to do. When they went to production release for Q&A Maker, it changed things around. And we need to fix that. Anyways, so I want to make sure that folks can get their hands on samples, including some of the code that we work on here. But in general, the idea is how can we make samples easier, more accessible to folks? And if you look at the samples that exist out there in the, is it the .NET? No, in the ASP.NET repository, right? So if I go over here to ASP.NET and I search for samples, there's samples. Great. And when you open this up, this doesn't tell me anything about what these things are. Blazor, great, there's a Blazor sample, but I have to clone everything if I want just that sample. So the idea here is we're gonna break this up and put together a little catalog. Here's SignalR samples, and look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different samples. Neat, but I have to get all of them if I want just the Xamarin sample. Right there. Oh, I cut my finger off. Right, that's a pain in the neck. I want to be able to look at that catalog and pull down just what I need so that I can explore it, change it up, and maybe integrate some of those features in my application. I want to get you to success with .NET as fast as possible. And that's what this is attempting to do. We're going to give you to start off a command line tool that will look at a registry of samples that are available. Be able to pull one down, expand it, and put it in a folder for you. Simple. And then we can do all kinds of things like set up other repositories for these, put nice readmes inside of the samples so that when you extract and put them down on disk and you open them in Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio for Mac, Visual Studio 2017, or Visual Studio vNext, will give you a nice readme that gives you a little tour as to what the sample is that you downloaded. Q&A Maker is good for knowledge page like an FAQ page. Yes, Janescu. In fact, that's exactly to point out for Quinn, and who else was asking? Lucky number 7, or is that lucky number 11? Let me know. The Q&A Maker that we use here for MyBot comes off of the live stream repository, and inside the wiki here, there's a frequently asked questions. And the Q&A Maker is actually just parsing this and presenting that. So, and I need to update some of these and rebuild the Q&A. So, all right. So what we've got here is a simple extension. This is intended to be a global tool for the .NET command line. And, right, the .NET command line, of course, right, we can say things like .NET version. .NET version, it shows me that I'm on the 300 version. I don't have the 301 running right now. I can say .NET new, and it'll give me a list of all the templates that are available here that we can use to build new projects. I'm not sure why I didn't get the alert there, but thank you, Corebob, for the host. Wonder if Streamlabs is running a little bit slow. Anyways, so here's a list of all the templates that are out there. So why don't we put together a way to search and bring back a list of those samples that are available that we can build. Using almost the exact same thing here, except I want to be able to say eventually, .NET samples. But for right now, so that I don't claim that noun, we'll have .NET Philly. Seems like you don't get the alerts for auto hosts. That wasn't an auto host. I think there was some saying some Twitch stuff seems slow today. Could be. Hey, there we go. Clark IO, thank you for the host. See, that came through. What I have seen is that Streamlabs takes like one alert, the first alert off, and then it comes through with the updates. So thanks so much, everybody, for hosting. I appreciate that. So that's all that this is trying to do, is give us a way to get those samples downloaded, installed, and no, there isn't a minimum viewer count on that, Corbob. And eventually, with this idea of samples, I want to be able to have a samples.net. Samples dot. Ooh, hang on. I want to be able to go to samples dot net. Sounds like a Morse code that I'm sending. Samples .net. You know what I mean. Eventually I want to set up that website as the registry for these things, so that we can have a curated list of samples that maybe the .NET Foundation helps to bless, right, and approve, and folks will be able to download. Just as bad as tried .net. Yes, standby reloading. You're absolutely right. So this is right now it's a very simple project, and as I build out and collect and identify the samples here, we'll see this thing grow and hopefully get adopted and accepted by the bosses. And we'll actually make this a thing, hopefully by the time Ignite rolls around, because I'd really like to be able to make that available for folks. But I've got a couple of nice pull requests here from some of our friends, Justin Horner and Paratheon. Let's take a look at what they've got here for us. And looks like we've got some tests, and we've got some other enhancements here to make it a little bit easier to maintain this as the tool grows. And Justin has a new test project and some basic tests for the samples controller. So there's two projects in this solution. There's a samples website that just has some the delivery of the API that the command line will pick up and read. And Justin has here's the new project, a couple of tests, and then a solution file update to go along with that. Let's just download this and make sure that it works before we go and merge it. So I'm going to go over to, I think it's, right, .NET samples. That's what I called my project here on disk. Let's start working in this folder. I'll go here. Let's close this solution, and we will open that one. All right. There we go. This one. And let's bring in, there it comes. Yep, reload my solution. And I've got Karnak up and running. I've had Karnak up and running now for a couple days, and it hasn't crashed at all. I'm thrilled that it's behaving so much better right now. So it looks like everything downloaded properly. Let's try to build the solution. Make sure that everything loads properly. Build succeeded. You can see it there just behind my head. And let's run the tests. There we go. I can see the little green line. 3 tests. Give it a shot. Looks good. All right, so adding unit tests and making this something testable is nice. You just got to notice Twitter is overloaded. Interesting. We know that both Twitter and Twitch run off of AWS. Interesting. Maybe Karnak didn't play nice with Windows Insider. Well, President, not sure. When I was running into problems with Karnak before, I was actually on a remote desktop session. So I wonder if that's what it was. I'm going to merge this pull request so we get the tests coming in here. Thanks for adding tests, Justin. Spell Justin right. This will help us manage the growth of the samples web application. Cool. All right. Next one. Now using DI to configure services and introduced configurations. All right, catch you later, Core Bob. All right, so Paratheon here has introduced DI to get other services set up and manageable in the application. Now, I would normally think that dependency injection for a command line tool is a bit much. However, when we think about this and the things that this tool is going to need to do, it's a little bit, it could get a little bit dicey. It could be a little bit strange as we grow here. So let's see what we can do to simplify the growth of this, minimize the architecture that we really need to build, because it is just a command line tool, right? Ooh, I actually got cut off from IRC there for a second. But it sure does look like there's some peculiar behavior going on out there. Yeah, and if I remember, both Twitter and Twitch are running off of the AWS cloud. Yeah, I'm getting some weird behavior from... I'm getting some weird behavior from not just TweetDeck, but also on the IRC. So let me just dig in a little bit here. Pause the console when attached to a debugger. Oh, okay. Sure. If the debugger is attached, sure, pause it. That makes sense. Right? So that when we're running this live, this doesn't run. And at that point, might as well put an if debug around this. Right? Because it's being called right there. Configure configuration. So now the other thing here is it's loading up the configuration using an app settings JSON file or an app settings, whatever the environment name is. Yeah, that's fine. And then here's our dependency injection. Adding logging, the configuration, the console for logging, so we can tinker with that and see what's going on there. Nice. And then some simple app settings files, the CS project updates for those. All right. We'll do a... Oh, rats. Wrong button. Let's do a quick check on this. See what that does. And let's do a git pull into my dev branch. Bring down all the goodies. And let's see how it runs now. Reload. Now also, because we've introduced DI inside the console application, we're going to be able to write unit tests against that as well. I'm going to do some quick formatting here. Let's try and build. Build succeeded, and here come my tests. Right? Why isn't it running? It's supposed to run right after it finishes. What do we got here? All the tests pass, of course. So everything looks like it's running well. So I will merge this. Very cool. This will help as we grow the functionality. We can now also start writing unit tests against the console application. Cool. All right. Quinn is very not a good programmer. He keeps reading AWS as a plural of AW. Oh, proof Quinn. Oz. No, no, no. In my city, there is an event what contained Finnish baseball and cross-country skiing as skiing is happening in snow and weather is rainy. So wait, they're playing baseball and cross-country skiing at the same time? Like instead of running to first base, they ski to first base? That's pretty interesting. Not at the same time. Okay. Alright, so I refactored the output folder attribute to be an option instead of an argument to bring it in line with other .NET Global tools. This sounds a little... I don't understand this. There's now a validation attribute? Okay. Download and extract sample code from Microsoft sample, blah, 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 blah. Use default conventions, use constructor injection. Okay. And then there's the pause debugger. I thought we already had that. Continuing. Is valid URL. Alright, so now that's the validation. And then here's the option. Nice. Is null or white space. Okay. Configure, configuration. Yeah, we already have this. We just merged this. A lot of this. Right? Am I missing something? Let me jump over to PowerShell so I get my cool interactions here. Alright. Git checkout. Let's back up one. Yeah, I know. I don't care. No, 2 L's. Alright. So now let's try merging this in and see how this looks now. And one of these. Now if I look over here, yep, go ahead and reload. Alright. I am going to do that and reformat and push that in. Alright. So the comment here is refactored output folder attribute to be an option instead of an argument. Alright, so where's output folder? Output folder option instead of an argument. Okay. Nice. That works for me. Build looks good. All right, let me merge that little bit of reformatting in. And I will push that in. Cool. Now, I should be able to run this. If I go... I have to start both applications. Is there a reason I'm working in master on this project? It's a proof of concept at this point. And I think we've got the concept proven. If we do decide to take it further, I'll set up a dev branch. But I'm not releasing anything. Did I saw? Is valid URL attribute, and then again checking inside method if URL is valid. Let's take a look at that. Is that Sanad Meskin? Go ahead, that's fine. Where is it? Where'd it go? Is valid URL attribute. And this is referenced in 2 places. Here. And you're right, there's a URI try create here as a second attempt to verify that it right? To ensure that we get a clean URI coming in. But it's already doing that right here in that try create. So I think Sanad might be on. I hope I'm saying your name correctly there. Is saying that correctly. I hope I'm saying that correctly. But yeah, we're doing this same check twice. We should be able to get rid of this because we're already doing the check with this option up there. Fantastic. All right. So, yeah, I'm going to remove this because we're already checking it in the other location. Oh, cool. Janescu just sent me a tweet about the baseball and skiing happening. What's this picture? Oh my gosh. Neat. All right. Good morning, Welsh Ronaldo. The option doesn't allow for a URL, only string. Right. Right. This. So we're checking to see if it is a valid URL and then moving on from there. So I think we're good. I think we're good. We're already checking. We don't need to check for it twice. Right? Oh no, you're passing it out. Well, hang on. Is valid URL. Is this passing it out into the registry? No, it isn't. You know what? I think we do need both there because we do need to pass it out into this registry object. No, wait. Hang on. I'm overthinking this. Base address equals right? Huh? That should work because I'm right. They're going to get loaded up, and where is the? That's on execute. Hang on. When this is actually started. No, it calls execute first. Oh, no, wait, hang on. We're loading configuration. We're loading services. And then command line application. Right. So the defaults will all be loaded first. Yeah, I think we're in good shape. Okay. So I should be able to run this. Now I need 2 consoles to run it. So here's one, and let's open one more. There we go. Because I need one for the web server and one to actually run the application. So let's go to here, this, and I want to be in .NET samples.web. All right, so I'll run the website, and it's there doing its thing, chugging along. Cool. Now over here, I'll run the command line tool and let's see what it runs. That's not how you spell dir. I'm typing too fast for my own good. Debug. What? There we go. All right. So I should be able to say .NET Philly and it do something. No. Isn't it, do I have to do .NET Run Philly? Shoot. Need to fix all references to registry. Look at logging. I don't need that yet. Don't need that yet. Don't need that yet. All right. Hang on. On execute. From registry. And registry is... Where's registry? There it is. So so we don't need that anymore because we're I can just .NET run? Probably need to be back up. Okay. Line 76, I broke it. Right, so when sample source is set, where'd it go? It's here somewhere. So when this is set, we should update the yeah, I was going to say in the property setter. So let's turn this around and do a get. Come here, you. And do return to string. Registry equals new URI value. Now we're in good shape. Right now I can still make this like that and break everything. Extra parentheses. All right, try that again. All right, catch you later, Paratheon. Now I'm broken on 84. At McMaster extensions. Oh, Nate McMaster. That's where McMaster. Okay. It's not clear. So from line 35, which is when we actually hand off there, I bet. Yeah. No, bad idea. Right, shouldn't that jump down into here? Right? Well, let's see here. But what doesn't it like? The base address must be an absolute URI. Oh, you know what? App settings, development, JSON. Yeah, HTTPS 5001 samples. All right, let's pull this apart just a little bit here. Back into program. And I'm starting to worry that we've got way too much going on here in this one class. Configure, configuration, execute. In startup, are you using use.basepath? Doesn't look like it. But I'm not sure how much of that we actually need here. Add JSON file, app settings JSON, .NET environment. And then this is adding if that .NET Philly, right when it's actually running and deployed into production, you'll be able to put it into this folder location. So this looks okay, but you know what I want to do? I want to actually wire up the debugger to this. So we can see what's going on. Yeah, start new instance of that. Here we go. Now, it's telling me the base address is wrong. If we take a look, I've got a couple providers in there. I should be able to say configuration get value registry URI. And it's returning the wrong one. Right. So there's something wrong with the configuration here, because it's not getting app settings development.json. Probably because I'm going to guess the environment variable isn't set. And he's actually looking for .NET environment. Try that again. No, wrong website. Bad idea. Bad idea. Start that again. Hey, WorldWake. No, I am not in Germany. There we go. Now I'm loading properly. Nope, I'm back in the States, back at home in the friendly confines of my home. But there we go. I've got my two loading up there. That's fine. Yeah. All right. So let's removed extra check on URI of registry, and I'll push that up. And then I want to get to the other one. The ASP.NET Community Stand-Up was from Channel 9 Studios. Okay. Cool. Alright, that's updated. Where are we at here? Plenty of time. Plenty of time, because I want to go back over to our other project that we've been working on, the Core Wiki. There it is. And we started work on setting up an article history page over here. And where I want to go is, I want to start bringing in that diff library, diffplex, and actually present the differences between articles here. Seems like they had a few issues, though. Channel 9 isn't typically configured to go over Google Hangouts. You can send me a direct message on Twitter, WorldWick, and I'll see it over here on my machine. Where was I going here? Alright, so I wanted to set up and get this diff in place. So I have on my details page for an article, right? And this is our Core Wiki project intended to be a content management system that behaves and acts like a wiki. They thankfully dropped Google Hangouts. Did they? I'll need to talk to, oh, well, gosh, Scott was in town. What am I thinking? And they dropped Google Hangouts. So what, they just broadcasted directly to YouTube? I'll have to talk to them. Using OBS now? Oh no! What? What? Now you've got me wondering. Trying out the new studio and breaking things. Ah, I see. Damien was having a number of problems getting things set up in that extra little room that he had there, and it's their focus room, and it kind of turned into a studio in the office. So this is a little bit nicer, and there's nice background there. And it wasn't July 4th; it was July 3rd, wasn't it? Nice. And I have a feeling that there'll be some questions about OBS from some of those folks. But they've done a great job for years building that show up. I'm thrilled that they're using a studio now. We might be able to do something a little bit more interesting there with that. All right. So I'm building, so we have the ability to create articles inside of our wiki, but I want to be able to track history of it. And we started building out the ability to track that history. And here on the article details page, I thought, didn't we add a history link here or something? I thought there was a history link. Let me double check. I'm in my dev branch. I want to be down in the feature branch. No, it's a project branch is what it's called. There it is. Yes, reload. And I still don't see that link to the history. I thought I put it up there. Yeah, I may have it set that you have to follow in order to whisper or something. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've configured that. So there's the edit link. I thought I had a link to history. Because I have a history page here somewhere. There it is, history. And then we can see the content and the information about it. They have tested some other things in too. Oh. You were talking about where to put that link. Oh, thank you, Sanad. So let's do that. I thought I wanted to put it... You know what? When in doubt, just run the application and let's look. Starting. Let's go. Today. Okay. And there's my home page. Yeah, and there's that back to home button appearing when it probably shouldn't. The OBS thing wasn't the first that they have used other than the Google account. Yeah, I'll need to talk to them and see if there's something that they need help with. Isn't it home dash page? Yeah, what is the slug? Tell me. Oh, clear all that nonsense. Yeah, home dash page. Alright, try that again. Now that should make it go away. And there we go. All right. So I think I want to put the history link right here below the view count and along with the version number. So let's go up there. So there's a row with those two. Wait. Published and that, and then there's another row with those. Let's create another row. Label version, label history, and even then, I'll do this, I'll do that. What? No, go away. All right, span data value. There it is. And we'll make that the version there. And then we'll change this to ASP page history. Yeah. ASP route. Now I need to provide I need to provide that piece of information about what it is, and the slug is what we're passing in there. I think that's how you do it. Yeah. And we'll say model article slug. And we'll just make this a... Yeah, put the localizer history there. Now I'm going to need values for those. That's version and history. So let me go to, it is the globalization folders where we have these. So pages, and I can add another resx for, well no, we're already pulling it in somewhere for the details here. All right. Version, history. And then we can do those translations later. And it'll pick them up appropriately. VS 2017 15.8 has support for C++, just my code. Yes. The C++ team has been quite active at adding new features to Visual Studio. So let's reload and make sure that pops in properly. Now, it's the wrong size. Now, this is an H5. And I was wondering about these label names. Is that being referenced somewhere? Oh, look at this. But they're all... aren't they all the same? Why aren't they all the same? Let's see here. Label view count. Is that referenced down here? Yeah, it is. I'm just going to use the exact same. That. Right? Why reinvent a CSS class? There we go. And then I should be able to click this, and it looks like... yes! Alright. It's not pretty, but it works. Hey, Bing Games, going well. We're getting ready to wire up our diff functionality into the history of our page here. R.H. Sumner, history in previous versions reads better than history. I think you're right, R.H. Sumner. I think you're right. Let's go back and let's clean that up so that instead of it saying version history, I like the way you're thinking. That makes a lot of sense to me. I'm going to delete this, and this needs to be like a format string then. Let's call it history format. Yeah. And does version history need to include current version? I think it does. And I think it does, and I'll show you why when we get back over there. I see your question, Sanad, and you make a very good point. Give me 1 second, and I think we'll fix that. Let's change this to history format. And the comment was history previous. Do I have a space in there? Let's say total versions. Okay. And what I'll do is I will save that, go back over here, and we'll change this to say string dot format. And then we'll pass in like that. And I don't need this. an extra parenthesis there. And that should do it. Can I convert from localized HTML string to you stink? Alright, let's see, that should work. I need to rebuild, I bet, because I changed that resource. But you need to create a link, not just text. Oh, you're right. You're right. Alright. Hold that thought. History, 1 total versions. Okay. So that's fine. This, let's open this up to 12. I completely forgot about that. Alright, so let's say ASP page equals history. Let's go back to ASP route slug equals model dot article dot slug. And then I can get rid of this. Go to the end of the line. Put the end tag in there. There we go. History, 1 total versions. Huh? What do you think of that? Let's zoom in a little bit because I know that's small. And it comes over here. Alright, so we got that linked up. And we'll work on the formatting of this later. The idea that I had, 1 total versions. Yeah, that's fine for... Right, I can change that to... won't let me edit it. Yeah, exactly. Put the parens around it. And that works then for English. And then, depending on your language, may behave differently. Okay, so let me go back over to my history page. Pages. What I'd like to do now... And we'll work on the formatting of this. Let's add an extra column here. Woo! And then I should be able to say, right, I want 2 checkboxes. So, input type equals checkbox, name equals compare, value equals, and then I want to grab history version. Right, because I want you to be able to select several of them, select 2 of them, and be able to say compare, do a diff between these 2. Hey, Death Packs. Alright. Thanks for joining us. So now it says 1 total version, which kind of looks stupid, but it's there. Let's... Now it doesn't look as stupid, but it still looks stupid. And I'll worry about formatting this later. Glad to be able to catch a stream. Well, thanks for joining us. I'm glad to see you in the chat room, Death Packs, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have, and any suggestions you might have to improve where we're going here. So I'm going to put a button down at the bottom here that says generate diff or something like that. And I want to... I want to be able to then... Right? CoreWiki has a nice logo. Yeah, I think so. Ostad, what have I missed? We solved... We have a cure for cancer. We solved the world hunger problem. We even fixed Trump's hair. No.
And you blow it!
He did. We didn't do any of those things. If you add the Bootstrap table class, it'll format easily. We've been quite productive. It's the day after a holiday. I can have a good time if I want to. I think Smab has a good idea there. Let's just throw a table on this real quick. And let's throw, isn't there like a table, table responsive? With the Bootstrap and table classes here that will give us that nice formatting quickly and easily here, I always feel like I can just pick and choose and add everything, right? Like, sure, I'll take a little of this, I'll take a little of that, format it up real nice for me. See, it already looks a lot better. And isn't there a Bootstrap for a checkbox? Remove the word total and it'll sound completely normal. 1 version, 2 versions. You're referring to the resource. Sure, I'm okay with that too. That's because I started building my button down here. Standby reloading. Yeah, because I want to post back and then generate that diff. Bootstrap for table class. Yeah. All right. Form method equals post action equals. I don't have to specify that. It'll just post back to itself. And I'm going to put... Oh, I need to put the form around the table, don't I? And... right, input type equals submit. Value equals compare versions. All right. Table responsive needs to be on a div outside the table element. Around the table. Oh. There you go. History 1 versions. Thanks for that. And then I've got a big fat button there. And the suggestion was that we move table responsive. Just remove it, not needed. All right. And there we go. And my compare checkboxes. Let's get rid of the align. Alright, we'll figure that out, replace that with some cool glyph or something so that it does something nice. But what I want to be able to do is choose 2 of these and choose compare versions. And I think I'd want to put a JavaScript check on this. Uh-oh. Is Fierce Kittens out there watching? She's not out there watching. I've just been... what do we got here? Somebody invoked my name. What the heck? Oh, I see. Never mind. Yeah, somebody ping Fierce Kittens. No, don't do that. Sounds like she's busy. Alright. So I want to put a check here so that we can only click compare versions when 2 compares are lit up here. So let's write a little bit of JavaScript. Yeah. And you know how I am with JavaScript. At section scripts. I know devs who would add link to pluralizer service, implement it, throw in a factory class or 2, wrap the S in parentheses. You're thinking about using... Didn't we add humanizer? Humanizer is here. I'm gonna pass on that for right now. I'm trying to do any of that. All right. Fierce Kittens has questions and concerns about how to reference NuGet packages and the level of trust with some of those folks. So, all right. So I want to write a script here that every time the compare is checked, we figure out how many are checked and go from there. So I'm going to add an iffy here. Oh, come on. Where's my... Oh, wait, you know what? I'm in debug mode. It won't give me that. What's happening here? All right. It's not going to give me the... Oh. That's like one of my favorite snippets here, and it's not doing it. Oh. Hey, Space Cat. That's not how you spell function. That's not how you spell function. Bad idea. Oh, wait. I know why it didn't. I know why it didn't. Visual Studio is smarter than me, okay? Oh, come on. Nope, it's not going to give it to me. I was going to say, I don't have... Say, now I've got it. Now I'm all messed up. Alright. M. Giuseppe, too. Thank you for the subscription. That's great. Thanks so much for joining us. And we'll match that subscription and make a donation to our friends at Girl Develop It. But as a thanks, you'll get to use the .NET bot emote here in stream. Thanks so much for joining us, Giuseppe. I really appreciate that. M. Giuseppe. All right, where are we here? I thought there was something I saw. There we go. Joe Bunn. Class form check input. All right. We'll put that class on here. I'll put it at the end after all that stuff. Form check input. All right. Parentheses function. Oh, I had these in the right place. I had them in the right place. Thank you. All right. So I want to attach to all of the compares, which are my only form check inputs. So I should be able to just do an easy attach to all of them. Yeah. So let's create an onload method. Okay. So document get elements by class name, and I will get form check input. Now I've got a collection of those. So let's call those checkboxes, because that's what they are. And then I want to do a for across those and attach the event that's going to inspect when they're checked. For var I equals 0, I less than checkboxes dot length I plus plus. Pardon me while I yak shave here. All right. Checkboxes I dot, and then I went to right. I want to add event listener. Yeah. Okay. See that? And it's going to be isn't it on check? Is it on check? Or is it check? Uh-oh, here's Fierce Kittens. Good morning, kittens. You can do the same with for X in checkboxes. Is it X in or is it X of? I can't remember. X in. Okay. Alright. So let's say for var I in checkboxes. I always get those confused, right? Because one gives you the identifier And the other one actually gives you the object, right? If I said for var I of checkboxes, I think it's I is the actual object. Yes, yak shaving. RH Sumner, it's a term that you'll hear some folks in tech use when it's some of that initial setup, the boilerplate stuff that we all have to do that feels repetitive. This one also gives index of element. So you also need checkboxes I. Rats. Is it X in? Alright. I'm going to go back to check boxes. See, it's... Alright. Why couldn't it be... Why couldn't it be like we do for each in C#? Just make everybody easier. Make everything easier. So I need to attach a method to this, the listener that's actually going to act on that. And let's create another one here. Call it onCheck. Yeah, that's fine. And we will pass onCheck. That should work to attach this method here. This checkbox equals this. Who doesn't love the this keyword in JavaScript? Alright, hang on. So I'm going to receive that. Let me log this. Right? Log.info checked, and then let's put the actual value. This dot value. Just to make sure that this is coming. Why not use 2 columns of radio buttons? Hey, Ashley. Then you're generating a whole bunch of extra controls that you don't really need. You should be able to just access element.checked. Yeah, okay, sure. I know I can do that. Let's get this started so we can break the JavaScript client side easily. Alright, so history, and there's our one checkbox. Bring up the console. Checkboxes I is undefined. See that? Why doesn't... Are you kidding me? HTML collection. And it's got... Because it's only got one there, that's why. That's why. And this is when Fierce Kittens laughs and says, "Told you so, I hate JavaScript." Oh, that's not bad. Ah, see, there she is. There she is. What I want to do here is I want to, when you click that, I want to make sure that only 2 checkboxes are checked, and then I want to grab those 2 values. I don't need to grab those 2 values and pass them on, because they'll be the only 2 that are checked. So, okay, maybe I only need it on the button. Let me go back. Onload. So then I could do, because I like the query selector all input name equals my checkbox is checked. No, actually, Janescu, she hasn't done Twitch extensions. Talk to Me Gooseman has done some Twitch extensions, and I'm working on one that I hope to announce here next week. I'm trying to avoid jQuery. Okay. Get element by tag name. I'm going to get the form And I'm going to add an event listener for on submit so that I can validate. And then I'll just move this instead of checking each individual one. See, over-engineering again. King Tomato, thank you for the follow. And I'm going to grab, where is it? Document query selector all to find the checked. Var checked boxes equals document query selector all. All right. So I'm going to go grab form check input. Right, what did you do? Form, I'm gonna, you did input dot form check input checked. All right. If not checked boxes, and this is one of those iffy, right, truthy things in JavaScript, where it's right, if there's a 0, it'll be false. So I want to appropriately here. Aren't I receiving an event on this, or can I just say event? Yeah, I can. Prevent. You make me sad. Nope. Prevent default. Now, what's going on there in the chat room? How about this? Only 2 checkboxes checked. Ooh, yeah, SMAB. You have to go through a lot of testing and support for those, plus the team at Twitch has to approve it. Yes. And the extension jam, I have my own idea that I want to build, and I don't I don't want to build what they're saying. I want to build my own thing. Function on submit. There you go. From WYSIWYG. Hey, WYSIWYG. Okay, yeah, that's the cool developer nickname of the day there, right there, WYSIWYG. You're not awake enough, Space Cat. Oh, come on. Where'd it go? There was a link from SMAB to only 2 checkboxes. There it is. Let's see if we can just use that idea instead of building something ourselves. Oh dear Lord. No. Checkbox limit from JS Fiddle. Check group limit for I less than check group dot length. Well, I think this is a little bit more than we need because, right, I can do this and it'll give me all of those that are checked, and I want to make sure that 2 and only 2 are checked. You have no coffee emotes anymore. Check out NoOpCat. She's got a coffee emote, and I've got coffee. Always good to have coffee. I'll pay big money for coffee. All right. So if we haven't checked any checkboxes, or checkboxes.length does not equal 2. WYSIWYG's linked page title. Where are you going? What's the difference between ASP.NET and .NET? Oh, I'll pause for a second there and answer WYSIWYG's question. So, 2 different things. ASP.NET is a frame. Let me start with .NET. .NET is a framework that allows you to write applications, write code in C#, VB, and F# are the primary languages that target it. You'll find some other languages out there that compile down and will run on the .NET framework. But it'll allow you to compile content, compile your application. So it has a just-in-time compiler that'll run on Windows machines, either as an application, a desktop application, like Visual Studio. This is actually written in .NET. Or you can run on the server and host services. You build web pages, and that's what ASP.NET is. ASP.NET is that server-side framework that you use that compiles down to .NET that gives you that server-side capability. Now, you'll also see other frameworks out there like Windows Forms and WPF, which Kittens is using in her stream to work on her GIFbot application. And that's a desktop application that you install and runs on Windows, and it does cool things on your display. Now, this is an application that outputs to a browser, so we use ASP.NET to build it. Now, you'll also hear about things like Xamarin. And Xamarin's another framework that runs on top of .NET that allows you to write C#, VB, F#, and compile down through .NET all the way to iOS and Android. So you can build with .NET and target those platforms as well. So I hope that answers your question a little bit there, WYSIWYG, about the difference between .NET and ASP.NET. I think checkboxes will always be truthy. Well, if it doesn't find any, it won't be, right? If this is an empty collection, well, you know what? Let's find out. Cool. Glad to help out, WYSIWYG. The ASP.NET name is confusing. It doesn't have anything to do with the old ASP thing now, does it? No, not really. In core, it no longer does. However, in ASP.NET, the framework version that was around from 2001, and it's still being developed on. It's in .NET version 4.7.2 currently. The application, request, response. There was another object. There were 4 objects. Application request, response, and session objects are exactly the same as in classic ASP that you wrote with VBScript as you had in .NET. So you could actually pass things in the application object across ASP and ASP.NET. Now that was really convenient, and that was really great for folks to be able to use when they were migrating from classic ASP to ASP.NET. However, it also tied things very tightly to the Internet Information Server, the Microsoft web server that ships with Windows. So you end up with a little bit of a nice convenient option for migrating back in 1999-2001 timeframe. However, in 2018, it's kind of bulky and heavy. Thank you, Elbum, for the follow. I appreciate that. Good to see you this morning, Steve. I have a typo in my selector. It should say form check in... Oh, thank you. Pair programming with friends. Awesome. Code Artistic Ninja. Even an empty list is truthy. Fine. Then you know what? We will do that. And expected. You know what? Can we talk for a minute about the double and triple equals operators in JavaScript? Why is that legit? It's not just, right? 1 equals is assign this value. 2 equals is check to see if this matches. Compare, right? Do the comparison. But it's a loose comparison. This is, no, strict comparison. I know, Fierce Kittens. What is that? JavaScript people.
And you blew it!
You blew it! Look, I've been doing this a long time.
I don't know who you are.
I don't, JavaScript people.
I don't know what you want.
They want to know what's
If
equal.
You're looking for ransom.
No, just equals.
I don't have money.
I do have
I
money.
do have are a very particular set of skills.
Programming skills, yes.
Skills I've acquired over a very long career.
I'm not that
Skills
old.
that make me a nightmare for people like you. If you let my daughter go now, that'll be the end of it.
I've got 2 daughters.
I will not look for you.
Okay.
I will not pursue you.
Yeah.
But if you don't, I will look for you.
Yeah.
I will find you.
Well, here's where I am.
And I will kill you.
Okay. Fun with Liam Neeson. I was so confused about ASP versus ASP.NET because I thought the old ASP stuff didn't exist anymore, yet the whole framework is called ASP.NET. So World Wake, it's been deprecated. Classic ASP, that is. However, you can still run it against IIS, against the Windows web server directly. It is still out there. It's no longer supported, but it is available. Yeah, Ashley Broughton, you're right. It does compare the object type also. Yeah. Exactly. So best explanation is 2 equals 2. And yeah. And 2 equals quote 2 because it's it won't cast the type. Right? It won't implicitly cast the type for you. So one thing compares bit for bit. Yes. It's a strict comparison, including the type. So if the checkbox's length isn't 2, I'm going to throw some sort of a message, right? I'll just put an alert. You can compare only 2 versions of this article. Okay? Cool. Otherwise, I'm going to let it pass through. That should work. So, back over here, do this. And compare versions. Now, it didn't prevent default. That's a problem. Yeah. Just joined. What are we working on today? Hey, EM Triple, we're finishing this layout here, and then we're going to put the diff output on the screen. So compare versions, it didn't break. Document get elements by tag name, add event listener is not a function. Wanna bet. I need to grab the 0 with. Nope. Now why didn't it? Oh, JavaScript, you silly. Now, why didn't it? Right, on submit, should have fired there. Yeah, right? Let me go into my debugger here. Let's take a look, see, make sure we haven't done, right, this. I love being able to put a breakpoint in my JavaScript. Get cookie. No, that's the other thing. That's the select theme name stuff. On load, there it is. So I should be able to break right there. And it's not hitting it. Which tells me that my on load isn't firing. Which sure looks like it should. There, it fired. Get elements by tag name form, add event listener. Unless it's not on submit. It's submit, not on submit. There I go, confusing my 2. Thank you. Finish that. Right, I'm confusing events in .NET and JavaScript. Right, let that go. Nope, didn't work. Add event listener, submit on submit. And it never got down into this. Is your search bar form? Oh, you're right. That's a form up there. Oh, good call. Good call. Yeah, you're right. And let's call this, let's call this compare form, and then I can just go get get element by ID, compare form. Try that again. So now when I do this, now I hit it. Do tell. You were writing that before. Yeah, there's a lot happening in that chat room. Okay. So now, if I click this, I'm there at checked boxes. Step into it, not step over, step in. Okay. So checked boxes, length is 0. Oh, I have my thing inverted. Oh my gosh. Because I was talking about that JavaScript deal there. Let's get rid of this and that, and this should work now. And prevent it default. Good. All right. Okay. So this is called compare. So that's what I'm going to be passing back into my page. So now I'll go back into the history page and I'll wire up the post event. So I will have a string coming back. Oh, you know what? We need to bind this. Is it bind property? I think that's what it is. And I need to also set up a string to grab the slug. No, I don't need the bind property on this one, but I will need it. So bind property will allow me to receive the values from those two checkboxes into this property. So let's do public async task I action result on post, and I'm still going to be receiving that slug. Now I can go and do something with this, and we should, right? Lacks a weight and it's not returning a value. Yeah, that's fine. For right now, I'm just going to return view. No. Page. That's what it is. Because it changed slightly. And let's make sure that my compare values come back here. And let's see what that looks like. Just because I'm paranoid. You could refactor and add those checkboxes to your page model to handle them at the server side. Should it be an array? No, it'll come back as a comma-separated list. And then I'll turn it into an array and do something fun with it at that point. Alright, now I can't actually do the compare because I don't have multiple versions yet. This is a new version. Save. You're kidding, right? That's not it. This one. Right, .NET, EF, migrations. No, EF database update. Database update. Application, DB context. Because it's telling me my database is out of date. There we go. Alright. One more time! There we go. My PowerShell custom profile game is on point. Thank you. That's PoshGit that's running there. Are you kidding? That should be in my secrets file. I should be able to just log in. Why am I getting a forbidden on that? Because I wanted to show up with the author name. I'd like the author name to appear there. I'm going to change scenes here just slightly so that I can just inspect my user secrets and make sure that they're populated here. And yeah, I have Twitter authentication sitting in here properly. And I'm going to check my identity hosting startup. So I do have my Twitter secrets are in here, and it should be loading it properly and configuring. Oh, wait a sec. Is this that JavaScript bit that Barry helped us with? I think it might be. Pages, accounts, login. Right, because we had inside of our... Not that one. Inside of our layout, it was actually doing... Right, it was actually chopping those values. It's in the site JavaScript. That's where it's hiding. Where is it? Root, JavaScript, site JavaScript. Where it's actually going and saying prevent duplicate. This bit right here. Having Twitch login in CoreWiki, would it be good? Sure, why not? Sure. So this is attempting to prevent it from double logging in. Where'd it go? So if it's valid, it'll prevent the default. Otherwise, it'll put the attempted attribute on there and attempt to pass through. That login button actually goes through to external login. So when we click that button, we should see it come in here on the post. There it is. Return URL is /, that's fine. Provider is Twitter. Redirect URL is, well, it didn't get it yet. Identity account, external login, blah, 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 blah. And then it's going to return the challenge result. And it should have done something there, but it didn't. Instead, it ends up here with a 403 forbidden. Oh, man. Did you rebase this branch? No, I don't think so. That will break your compare form, won't it? No, we're okay with that. Hey, not one iota. Good to see you. I'm not sure why that's not working now. Because that sure looks like it's going through and doing the challenge against Twitter properly. I have nothing intelligent to say. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, why isn't it bringing it back? Why? It's giving me the 403 going to external login return URL equals /. Oh, thanks a lot, not one iota. And there's Justin. Hey, good to see you this morning. Yeah, not one iota. Actually, I spent. I stopped by the local. The parade I was at yesterday for the 4th of July was went right past comic book shop in the next town over, and I stopped in and I was looking at the. I was looking around, checking them out because I enjoy a good comic book or 10. And they had a case there with all their magic cards they were selling. And I was looking in the case and I'm like, wait, I have that. And these cards are listed for $10-20 a piece. I'm like, oh, that's not bad. And then I saw they had all the way on the side, they had the first appearance of Spider-Gwen, Gwen Stacy as Spider-Man. and Spider Girl, the White Spider, Ghost Spider, whatever they call her now. And I've got like 2 or 3 copies of that sitting in my boxes here in my office, and they were listing it for $350. I'm like, okay, there you go. That's paying off. Clear session cookies. No, it's not. Yeah, exactly. So it's like all this crap that I bought a couple years ago. Hey, it's actually worth something. I don't want to clear cookies. I could clear cookies, but it should do the... I'm not even getting Twitter popping up here, right? I'm clicking this, and I'm not getting that login, right, confirmed there. There is Babe Jesus on the Brazilian, yeah. My dad had a stack of comic books when he was a kid, but his mom made him burn them. Oh, that's awful. Yeah. So I've got something configured funny in here that's not behaving properly. It is getting to that challenge result, but it's that external login page. Right, this is in the Twitter handler. Twitter handler trying to... I'm getting a 403 from Twitter. That JS was changed in another branch to fix this. So I probably should rebase. Maybe. But I'm getting all the values coming through, right? Even if I go into my site JS here. Right? And just to make sure. Right, if I go... it's not even here. Yeah, I don't even have it referenced here. It still doesn't work. Ah. All right. I'm gonna just create a new user. No. Oh wait. There we go. Cool, so I now have a person logged in, and I will edit. This is a new version, so we've got some content to work with here. You kidding? After all that. Let's stop this. I'm just going to nuke that database, the content database, since there's nothing in it already. And let it rebuild. Come on. Okay. Edit. This is my new content. Narf. Save. Whoa. Wait a tick. Alright, so that's telling me that we don't have... that I'm missing a migration? .NET EF migrations. Add. Article history stuff. I have no idea what it's missing. Make it happen. Now, what did it actually create? So our migrations are actually saved right here in the project. Article history stuff. Update data. Hey, Alan is good. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, I don't see that unique constraint here. I don't right? Where is it? Constraints. Primary key. That's curious. Yeah. But it's a key, right? Try this again. And website. Okay, edit. Next version. Save. Okay. Unique constraint failed article histories.id. All right, so that tells me that in my edit page, here it is, on post. Puckpaw, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you joining us here. So the article history here, add new article version. Context article histories, add article history from article. And if we look at that, we're jamming the ID equals 1 in here, which it should ignore because article history, the ID is a key and it's database generated. If I comment that, oh crap. Try it again. And seed entity for article history cannot be added because there was no value provided for the required property. It's database generated. No, it's already there. Let's, well, that's really handy. Computed identity none. Generates a new value when a row is inserted. Still feels like the world is upside down, but I may have been too busy with ES. Does MS let a lot of devs work remote like me? So I'm not a developer, let's start there. I'm a program manager. They do let a lot of program managers work remotely. They have engineers that as a team, as a business unit, work remotely. Example, the Xamarin development teams work together remotely from the Boston area. Visual Studio Team Services, those folks, a lot of the folks that work on that work remotely from the Charlotte area. They both have colleagues that work in China to help them as well. Pretty sure you need to change your callback URLs on Twitter to reflect the change in local port from a previous PR. I bet you that's it. I bet you that's it, Smap. Do you need an auto increment annotation on the key or similar? No, I don't think so. And this is Net Framework 4.7.2. Let's go back. Let's change this to Net Core 2.1. And yeah, it's not there. Has the actual DB column got identity set on in the database? Good question. Strike hard, strike fast. Are you a member of the Cobra Kai there, buddy? That's all right. There's our leader of the day on the cool avatar, on the cool nick of the day there. I had it right there in the list. Not wiki, yeah, wiki content. So here's article histories. Wait, hang on, let's look at this. If I said, so this is the articles table. ID is an integer, not null, primary key, auto increment, right there. If I look at article histories, what? You could never betray. Well played. That's nice. Okay, so there's my table. Yeah. And why wouldn't it let me see the structure? There's a problem with this table definition that our parser doesn't fully understand. Modifying and saving this table might result in problems. You think? Let's back up a second. Look at the article object, just to make sure that we're not doing something. Yeah, key database generated, so it should just do it. And our seed data, where is it? Where is it? Not that one. Not that one. No. We're going to come back to that. We're going to come back to that. Not this. Not that. Not that. Not that. That one. So we're forcing the ID equals 1 to start on our first article. I'm going to nuke this database again and let it recreate it. Since I changed. What I should do, homepage history dot ID equals 1. I shouldn't have to do that though. Let me let it start and see what happens. It's SQLite, so not MS SQL, so auto increment, right. Did you not run into a similar issue already? I think that's EF's has data cannot create the IDs, so you have to set them manually. Yeah. So, force that there. Try it again. And that looks good to start. Right, and I still have my version. There it is. And if I... where'd it go? I thought I had it. There it is, DB browser. And let's look at the database now. No, still having a problem with the article histories table. But it has the auto increment bits turned on in there. So if I create a new version, it should save it. And it did. All right. Now for some reason my slug has changed here. Okay. So I do have histories now. Right? If I browse that, now I can see I've got ID 1, 2, version 1, version 2. And there's information here. Why is my author ID a blob? I mean, it's a GUID, but come on. And the slug changed. There's something. Try it on something other than homepage to see if it works. Well, I got it working. So I'm okay there. So let's click on histories here. So what I want to do, I want to make sure that clicking 2 of these, compare, and it does post back now. And if I look at the compare object, I just have the value 2. I should have both of these coming back. Jay's Hoots, thank you for the follow. Look forward to seeing you in the chat room. Let me try changing that to a string array, as somebody was suggesting earlier. Oh, dang, all that's in Austin is sales. Yeah, Microsoft has sales and consulting. They have scattered throughout the country. Alright, so I will choose these two and compare. And now if I look at my compare, I have 2 values and it's 2 and 1. So I receive that array and now I can do that. I'm badly lagged. I typed that ages ago. That's okay. Alright, so I have the slug and I have the 2 versions to compare. So now I should be able to load up the diff between those 2 values and show it. Yes! Because the content is here. Alright. I think it's time to start engage the diffplex. So this is going to be really cool. I'm looking forward to this. We were looking at... I have a link to it here, don't I? I thought I put it... No, wait. Haha, I have it in the project. For article versions, track changes, this issue. Here we go. We're going to use diffplex. Bazinga. When coding Java, there should be a Jawa's image, right? I don't know what you're talking about. You're going to have to go somewhere else on that one. Okay, we're going to wire this up, all right? All right, Shia LaBeouf? Here we go. Edit, and we're going to add diffplex into the mix here. And the part of me is looking at this and saying, oh my gosh, that's not in alphabetical order. Fix that, Jeff. That's okay, that's okay. Alright, diffplex comes after B. The obsessive compulsive in me. Right, diff. Oh, it's not gonna. I don't have that feature installed. Alright. We'll do it. Manage NuGet packages. This is such a great user interface. I really think the team that built this was amazing and used to work for me. Alright, diffplex, and it's not showing up here when I search for it because I'm looking at the wrong package source. There we go. Diffplex. Alright. Hell yeah, .NET Core. That's right, Wavelo? Can this be done without any client JavaScript required? Sure. You would throw the message back that, oh, you're not searching for the right number of folks. But this way I'm trying to cut it off before we have any issues there. Hey, there's Shane. Good morning, Shane. I yearn for the day when we can use pure C# and no JavaScript. Coming soon. Check out that Blazor project hanging out there. There's some really cool stuff coming with that, and I think you'll be happy with what that's going to be doing. WebAssembly, exactly. When Blazor lands, it's going to be pretty neat. But that's still an experiment because there's a lot changing around WebAssembly. They want to make sure they get it landed just right, and that it isn't another Silverlight. We want to make sure that it's a great technology that works on Windows, Mac, Linux, every mobile device, every tablet, and works just amazing. Do you think any of the Blazor team would be interested in pairing with me on Lonely Devs? Not yet. At some point, I think that would be very interesting to get their help with. So much of Blazor is changing dramatically from minor version to minor version. And Golang has they've thrown the gauntlet and it's been recognized, and we'll see how that changes things. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out, Shane. And there's now this feature that the chatbot will identify URLs that people post and resolve those and say, well, here's what's actually at that page that somebody linked. Nar says C# is best to learn as a first language for programming. It's pretty good. I hear other people say Python is pretty good. If you haven't done any programming at all, C# isn't too bad. I bet Fierce Kittens loves when WebAssembly comes to play for making Twitch extensions, not as much Python can rot hell. Very opinionated this morning, Fierce Kittens. Wow. C# or Python, yeah. Python's pretty good because very loose definition around it, very easy for folks to learn. People also say JavaScript is very easy to learn because you can do a lot in the browser without installing or doing anything. Significant white space. Wow. Okay, the comments and the preferences around programming languages are coming hot and heavy. All right, so I'm trying to use this diffplex feature here. Proper software engineering. Okay, so there's a difference between software engineering and programming. Software engineering very much is a discipline, right? It's one thing to learn how to knit a sweater, but you're not going to go out there and create the latest fashion line for Gucci or someone, right? You know how to make a sweater. It takes discipline. There's a series of practices that you need to learn and methodology that you must learn to set quality and make something maintainable. And that's what you start looking at when you think about software engineering. Just programming is one thing. XAML and C# make assembly, WebAssembly so good. I worry about crossing the streams on that. XAML is very client focused, and I think there's a lot we can do with web tools that, as somebody who's a web first programmer and not a XAML first programmer, I would prefer to stay with my divs and spans. All right, so I'm going to take a look here. This is the diffplex tool that actually our friend Andrew Arnott was part of constructing. And Smab still agrees with Fierce Kittens. Garbage collector languages are millennial languages. Kids expect mommy to.
It can be done exactly how I want it.
I will have a garbage collector.
The only question is, are you the man to do it?
Somebody else is going to collect the garbage. I'm using and taking advantage of it. You want to go? The diffplex thingy looks old. Yeah, but you know what? I hear, right? 9 months ago, 4 years ago, a year ago, but you know what? It supports .NET Standard 1, and that's all I need. So I'm okay with that. If it does what I need, so what? And they have a thing here, web differ, and they're actually generating their view. Old text, and they have a partial called diff pane. And there's how they're doing their diff. So I'm going to use what's going on here in this web differ capability. There is WASM. Yeah, so what? I'm a web person. If that makes you happy, go ahead and use it. BA Lunatic, thank you for the follow. If you want to use XAML, great. It's more for you to compile and ship versus I'm going to use divs and spans. All right, so what we do is we create a diff builder and we output this information. All right, that looks easy. But let me go down into that web differ. I'm going to open this in a new window here. Let's take a look at how they're actually building this. They're taking in a side-by-side diff builder. And they're doing a diff between old text and new text, and they just say build def model, and they're outputting that. You're building your own internet based on WebAssembly. That's impressive. All right. Let's see here. So I think I can reuse this. I only have one diff in here, so I don't need to inject this. That feels like overkill. So I'm going to see what I can do here. Right? It's a side-by-side diff builder equals new side-by-side diff builder. And let's see if I can get that. There we go. And build diff model, and then the old text and the new text. So here's where I need the two versions so that I can go and query them. So now that I have a compare and I have that information, now I should be able to go get those two. Well, actually, I have my article, right? No, I need to load the article again. So let's load the article, and then I can grab those two versions from history. So what I want to do, I'm going to grab the lower version first. Okay, let's do this. Var histories equals article dot history. So I have my collection of histories, and I want to say, I want to do no, not any. I want to do a where. H. Okay, so H dot version in, right? In compare. Can I do that? No. Compare dot any. Haha. C equals H version. Right, look at that. That's got to make Fierce Kittens flip, seeing that link syntax there. Building my own internet. I'm not knocking C# at all. I just don't think it's good or smart to have colleges teach in GC languages. I can buy both arguments around that. There's definitely something to learning how to manage memory. There's also right, there's also a little bit of if you're using one of these modern languages, you don't really need it. I think I do need it as a string, and I don't want to do a conversion here, but I think I have to. Ugh. All right. Order by, and I want to order it by the version number. And this is all being done in memory because that history has been brought back, so it's all available to me here. So histories should now be 2 records. And let's make that an array. So I have 2 records now in my histories. So I'm creating a new side-by-side diff builder. Well, I want it with a differ. Oh, fine. Diffplex dot differ. Right? I should be able to do that? Yeah, good. Build diff model. The old text is going to be the first history record. So I will say histories 0 content. Second one is histories 1 content. All right, so now I have my diff model is here. Let's call this diff model. I've said the word diff too many things. You should check that if there are 2 records. Let me come back to that. Okay. The diff model is of type side-by-side diff model. Public side-by-side diff model, and we'll call it diff model. Why do that's better. And control dot, good. Now I can use that on my page to actually build out exactly what it is. So I'm going to return the page, and this time, instead of outputting the top section that we had on the page, we'll format this a little bit. Have a good rest of the stream. Why do people say that instead of stream? Why do they say strim? I don't get that. Alright, so I'm going to go back over to this. Right, and there's a way to put if this is post, if this is get, on a razor page. Right? What are you using to display my key presses? Oh, Retry Life. That's a tool called Karnak. It's a Code 52 project, all open source, and I have it configured to only show Control, Shift, Alt, or Windows keys. So, pretty good, pretty good. Just hangs out there. I have a ticket open for you to add that to your WikiFact. Good idea. We'll have to change the way this works slightly when we come to be able to change article topics. We'll have to add that field as well. Sure, sure. But let's get the simple scenario working, and then we can expand into some of those other things. Let me. Where was I? Oh, Razor Pages. And when I post, I thought there was a way to change. No. I thought there was a way to reformat it when you've posted back and we want to show something different. That's not it. No. Let's go here. No. Oh, man. Nope, I don't want filters. No filters. It's on the post. I want to present differently, right? Is it under fundamentals for Razor Pages? No. Get started with Razor Pages, scaffold Razor Pages. Why am I thinking? Right, on post, you're able to format and add search, add a new field. So on get, it does this. Yeah. So it's actually just painting the exact same page. Let's do this. On my page here, if I do have a diff model, Mav the Great, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you joining us here. If model dot diff model equals null, output that. Else. And then we'll format using, so there's diff controller, so it's returning a view for the diff. So let's go to views, diff, this one. So I'm just going to copy this. And then we'll figure it out. Old text, HTML partial diff pane, model.old text. Well, it's going to be model.diff model.old text, model.diff model.new text. And this should be a partial async now, which we want to await. Okay, and I need a diff pane here. Could you use temp data? Yeah, but why? Diff pane, here we go. Yeah, I'm gonna need all of these because this references diff line, and diff line is right here. And this references, oh no. No, we're good. So I'll grab diff pane here. Let's grab that. And I'll put this into shared. Sure, it's a razor page. And actually, it's not a razor page, it's just a template. Alright, fine. And I don't want a page model class, and this was called diff pane. And I'm not using a layout page. Really? Do you need to rebuild the project? How to check temp data value in my view after a form post. Yeah, we could do that, but this really isn't a page, right? I mean, yeah. Let's just replace all that. And this is... It's not a... It's, I'm going to be receiving... Right, I'm going to be receiving a side-by-side diff model. Let me make sure I have the diffplex diff builder model. Right, so in... Oh, no. If this is a diff pane... Oh, no, that is a thing. All right. Then from here... Yeah, okay. We might be in pretty good shape here. HTML partial async. Putting a weight in front of that. Now I need diff line. And actually I need to change this so these have an underscore in there. Okay. I feel like this could be wrapped up as a library, as a razor page library, you know? Let's add one more razor page. Nope. Create as a partial. There we go. No page model class. Diff line. That's what I wanted. A way to return the diff result to the same page. I am returning it to the same page. Okay. Is there anything? No, I think we're good. Okay, diff pane now should return diff line. This might just work. Why not accept the versions in a query string and then switch the display logic on a get? You could do that also, I guess. Sure. Let's see how this works. Two versions. Show me them both. Okay, I've got a diff model. Yeah. It didn't do anything. It didn't do anything. Why didn't it do anything? That should have been really cool. Right? If model diff model is null, right? It should have repainted the page with this stuff. Yeah, I know. Do it. And it didn't. Did you assign value to diff model? Oh, I did. Thank you. Wrong diff model I was assigning to. Good catch, Sanad. Good catch. Alright, come on. Load. And... Cool. History. These. Compare. Alright, so I'm... Cool. Alright, so I'm in the right place. Okay. There's some CSS here that I'm missing, is what's going on, right? Because this has some of these formatting, right, that I need to include. Looks perfect. Thanks, Molly. Thanks. I just don't like post for cases where you're not updating anything. Okay. I see what you're saying. Down in dub root, CSS, diff. I like it. Raw. Let's drop this into our CSS. Add new item. This is so cool. And now if I go back to history, right, no. Where is it? My layout. Do I have a section in my layout that I can just target directly for the styles, so I can put a link up there? Yuck. Yuck. Ooh. No. All right, I'll just put it at the top of the page. Actually, what I can do is conditionally include it right here. Link, right? Rel equals style sheet, href, right? Yeah. CSS, diff. One more time. CSF, cross-site. Oh no, you're referring to me. I get it. I'm thinking, don't you mean CSRF? You're good to see you, Caesar Gaming. Render section styles is there. Yes! Look at that! Look at it! That's pretty cool right there. I mean, look at that. Oh, man. That's pretty cool. Right now, let's go back to the home page. Let's edit it one more time. And what happens if we change that? Right? So now there's 3 versions. So now if I grab these 2. That's pretty cool. Come on now. That's pretty cool. I'm really happy with that. Right? This is I think that's a pretty cool feature. Right? To have something like that baked into a wiki so that you can get that to look nice. I mean, we can do something about the font sizes here to get it to fit in with the rest of your stuff. Mayan Anger, how am I doing? I'm doing fantastic because we just finished getting this diff functionality to line up nicely here in our source code. 1 versus 3. Sure, let's try doing that comparison. That's a good question, Brave Cobra. Let's do that. I'll compare those 2. And now it's showing both sets of modifications. Quick, end the stream before we break something. No. That's what source control is for. Let's see, what do we got here? Right? Yes. Not diff. Bad idea. Git add everything. I'm so happy I can't type straight. Git commit. Completed. Diff. Functionality. Awesome. And you're right. There were some comments from some folks earlier. You know, hey, don't you want to? Wouldn't it be nice if we? You're absolutely right about all those things. This layout here, we can clean that up, make it look a little bit nicer. We can take this diff format here and make it look a little bit nicer. You know, right now it's not going to fit in too well with our. Oops, that's not going to work. Right, with our dark theme, it really doesn't work. Right. Certainly not going to work with ouch. Right, let me just go somewhere else. Come back. Right, and choose 2 of these. That's not too bad. But dark theme, it's not going to work. So we need to think those through. And we still have a problem here with this back. What does a deletion look like? Good question. So if we deleted this line, save, take a look at our versions. So it's orange and then gray over here. Bring on rollback wars. No rollback wars. Now compare 1 and 4. Okay, sure, we can do that. Let's do this. Compare. So it's interesting that well, this is an empty line, right? I just deleted a line, right? If we look at 4 and 3, right there, this space is still here. So when we look at 1 and 4, it's showing the only difference is it added this space. 179. Rollback wars. Yeah. Interesting. Last update by unknown. It didn't. Right. It's the author isn't being picked up on those. The author's not being picked up on those because when I saved, it didn't overwrite the author with my information. Let's look at that real quick. Post. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing here about the author. Okay. Slug. There's something with the slugs that's not lining up. We need to fix that. Article dot author name equals no user dot identity name, but I also need to get the user ID. Article author ID equals user identity. I don't want to add identities. That user ID is floating around. Didn't we do that in create? Didn't we grab the author's ID in here somewhere? Where'd it go? Author ID, GUID.parse. That one. Using those. Fantastic. All right. So now it should pick up my user. Have to go. Good luck with the stream. Thanks, Sanad Meskin. Make sure I say that right. Thanks for joining us. I appreciated your input this morning. All right. So now if I edit, it works. Narf. Save. Okay. And now let's try this. Right now, if I compare this and that, look at that. Because it's markdown, it's picking up the markdown changes. That's fine. But the last update by is my username, which right now is just this. Can anyone suggest a good configuration for OBS that I can import? No. Honestly, hang on, let me finish reading. It seemed like lots of fiddling around to get it right, and I'm sure someone else can do a better job than me. Stream Elements will give you a nice layout that you can download and you can import. Player.me? Is that a thing? Is that a thing? Oh, that's neat. I did all of mine by hand. Built it all myself. Neat. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Did I try checking more than 2 now that I have a few versions? It shouldn't work because I checked the length. Yep, you can only compare 2 versions. But it works. It works. So, I'm pretty happy with that. That looks great. And importantly, right? That'll finish this issue. Being able to select 2 different versions, display the diff, select the last version, and delete it. So that's kind of a rollback. Maybe pre-select the latest version. Don't know about that. That feels opinionated. I'm not sold on it. But I think for this, I think we've got it. I think I've got that feature complete at this point. And we can clean up the look and feel a little bit. If we look at my data here, where is it? I want to refresh. There it all is. Nice. Nice. All right. So let's stop that. That was the other. Okay, here we go. So let's completed the diff functionality. Awesome. Git push, and then I will I'll rebase and merge. Right? Rebase or squash? Rebase. All right. So let's create a pull request, new pull request. And I'm going to pull it from here. Yep, look at all that. Look at it all. So much work. Fixes number 7. And it is able to merge, and I think, haha, check this out. So based on some of the work that our friend DevLead did, that's Matthias, I did do that merge and wire up AppVeyor so that we can get build feedback immediately right here as we're doing our pull requests. But I'm not going to squash and merge. I wish there was a thing here, but I'd like to rebase. Rebase? Right? No, I want one commit in the base branch. Yeah, I do want squash. Yeah. There we go. And that should, yep, there it is, closed. That feels really good, moving that over. So next up, we need to work on wiki text. And article ratings is something we had been talking about. But getting that diff baked in there, is Shane still here? That was something that we thought would be really cool way back in the day when we first started talking about this. Nah, looks like Shane took off. And to have that baked in now, in my mind, that's pretty huge. That's a pretty cool piece of functionality that we have completed in there now that's been lingering forever. Yeah, we still haven't done some of these ones, but I think we're in amazing shape now. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about myself. So let's wrap things up here. We've got diff functionality now inside of Core Wiki. There's a bunch of opportunities there for folks if you'd like to chip in and help with a little bit of formatting, help with a little layout if you'd like. First database user is not an administrator, so there's a couple things here on initial configuration it looks like we can talk about and work through in the days ahead. And we still have this one issue out here where we want to put repositories around our database interactions, a repository object, so that we're not directly and tightly coupled to entity framework, right? And we're indirectly saying, save this article, save the information about this author, and we're not running into any issues with entity framework floating, invading that abstraction, leaking. That's what abstraction leaking into our web code. So, thanks so much everybody for your help today. Thank you for the pull request that we got. The code's out there if you'd like to see it. If you'd like to pull down a copy of Core Wiki, grab what's in that dev branch, bring it down locally, and you should be able to run it on Windows, Mac, or Linux. Use your favorite text editor. Just do a .NET run right there in your right there on your command line, and it should start up and run for you. So that's all I have for today. Tomorrow is F# Friday, and if I've counted correctly, it's our 99th show together. 99! That means Saturday is show 100. I hope you join me tomorrow for F# Friday. Saturday, we'll get together. We'll work on some more Core Wiki, and we might have a surprise or two. We'll see what I can pull together, but I think we'll have a lot of fun on Saturday as we celebrate show number 100 here. If you missed any of the video, of course, this will be copied out to YouTube. It'll be archived and available out there for you a little bit later. There you go, Code Artistic Ninja with the 100s. It'll be available a little bit later today. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. I'm thrilled with the progress we made. And I will see you tomorrow for F# Friday. Take care. Oh, let's make sure we raid somebody. Let's see who we can raid out there real quick. I know Brendan's going with Dev Chatter. But I like to throw some attention to some folks that aren't necessarily getting a lot of attention. Share some of our viewers with them. And the Twitch dashboard is not loading on this machine. That feels good. That feels real good. There we go. Let's see who's out there in programming. Is Fierce Kittens broadcasting this morning because of how happy she was? Let's see what we got. Who's out there programming and doing something cool right now? I may be distracted by the football on Saturday. I wouldn't blame you. The Lions have a real good shot here as we get to the round of 8 in the World Cup. The Team England Lions, right? The triple Lions, the 3 Lions. They've gone through to the round of 8. They're very close here. And what is it? It's not Brazil they're playing. Who are they playing? The Swedes. That's who it is. And come on. Programming. Who's in the programming channels right now? No, it's not going to load. There we go. There are 24 people live right now. Let's see. Who do we got out there? Somebody doing something cool. That doesn't look like English. Rats. Learning Unity with John Cena 184. That could be fun. But this one, making a Stardew Valley mod. That could be fun. That's Bathu. Alright, let's head over there and check out what's going on with a Stardew Valley mod. Alrighty. Take care, everybody. And enjoy the rest of your day. Here on this Thursday, I'll see you later. There we go. It's rating now. Just a few seconds left, and we'll all head over there. We'll join him and see what it's like with his project. Take care.